Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann.
And I'm number one fan, Tim.
And I'm going to tell you a story that I got such a boner about today.
Story time. I love story time.
I am a very outspoken proponent of not forcing people's identities out in the media when they win the lottery. Because I personally feel it makes you too much of a victim, or it gives the opportunity for someone to totally make you a mark.
Yeah.
And come after you for all kinds of stupid shit. Begging for money, stealing money, kidnapping ploys for ransom. Don't even forget the litany of litigical bullshit when people come up with schemes like, I tripped on your front porch and oh my god, I want $400,000 for my sore knee.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Concord, New Hampshire. This case has been going on for months. A judge ruled Monday that a New Hampshire woman who won a Powerball jackpot worth nearly $560 million can keep her identity private, but not her hometown.
Well, then I would move.
Right. Judge Charles Temple noted that the case's resolution rested the state's right-to-know law, which governs access to public records for the woman. She was identified as Jane Doe in a lawsuit against the New Hampshire Lottery Commission. She was jumping up and down, her lawyer said. She'll be able to live her life normally. Judge Temple wrote that he had, quote, no doubts whatsoever that should Ms. Doe's identity be revealed, she will be subject to an alarming amount of harassment, solicitation, and other unwanted communications. He said she met her burden of showing that her privacy interest outweighs the public's interest in disclosing her name in the nation's 8th largest jackpot. However, Temple noted that nothing in his order could be interpreted to prevent the Lottery Commission or its employees from, quote, processing, maintaining, or accessing Miss Doe's ticket in a normal course of business. The woman signed her ticket after the drawing, but later learned from her lawyers that she could have shielded her identity by writing the name of a trust. They said she was upset after learning she was giving up her anonymity by signing the ticket, something the Lottery Commission acknowledged isn't spelled out on the ticket, but is detailed on its website. The woman ended up establishing the Good Karma Family Trust of 2018, and then Judge Temple found that the Commission's argument that revealing her name to ensure the public she's a, quote, bona fide lottery participant and real winner was not persuasive because a trustee claiming a prize on someone's behalf is certainly not a bona fide participant or real winner. So while we were expecting a different outcome and believe the state had a strong argument, we respect the court's decision, said a Lottery Commission executive director. That said, we will consult with the Attorney General's office to determine appropriate next steps regarding the case. So they're going to appeal, I'm sure, or some bullshit and waste time and money.
Why would they care if they're going to set... Okay, she doesn't want her name out. Why the fuck are you fighting this?
I don't know.
No, we want to put her name out there. We want her harassed.
Well, last week the commission handed over $264 million, the amount left after taxes were deducted, to the woman's lawyers. They said she would give $150,000 to Girls Incorporated, $33,000 apiece to 3 chapters of End 68 Hours of Hunger in the state, and it is the first of what her lawyer said would be donations over the years of between $25 million and $50 million during her lifetime. So like I've said time and time again, I would hate to win the lottery as much as it would solve a lot of my problems. I wouldn't have to go to my shitty job, deal with my dickhead boss, worry about watching my mouth. I could just live my life. I could have a home that's big enough for my kids where they each have their own room. But I'm not going to go out and buy some new $1 million mansion or a fancy fucking new car or truck. You know, these people that get the money and go spend crazy. And it's quite obvious that you've suddenly become independently wealthy. And all these flags are going up with all the wrong people. You think that the unemployed former criminals don't sit at home during the day and surf the internet while Judge Judy's in the background?
Oh, I bet you they do.
Yeah, shit like this. You know, like there was those people that won a bunch of money in Ham Lake. And they put out the guy's name and his age and where he was from. Why do you insist on doing that? And I've emailed the state attorney general's office. I've emailed the state lottery commission saying, you guys are increasing the propensity for victimization 1 trillion-fold. You want to picture them holding a check because it makes people believe in the lottery. It's a good soundbite to say, here's the voice of the person accepting their check. What are you going to spend your money on? And it's all catering to the egos of the people in charge of the lottery.
Yeah, we changed this person's life. No, you didn't. All you did was collect everybody's money and then gave it to a person. It's the people who play the lottery that change the lives of the winners.
Well, I got to think to myself, of all the government agencies that are crooked as fuck, do you really feel like the Lottery Commission's that crooked?
You wouldn't think there'd be possibility for it, but the fact that they're fighting so hard to release the identity of winners makes me think there's some shady shit going on.
Well, they just don't want that extra scrutiny, I'm sure. But you could say female, age, hometown.
Not hometown like where they live, or hometown like where they grew up.
Either way. Because it's factual information.
I suppose.
I mean, if you're going to show the faces of a married couple that won like $1.5 million in the Go for Five, I'm actually talking about real people that I heard about.
Yeah.
And you might as well just fucking put their social security numbers in the goddamn news story too, because there's their picture, there's their names, there's their ages, there's where they live, here's how much they got.
Yeah, a criminal, even a half-smart criminal could figure out the rest of the information they need with some research to start doing identity theft and everything like that.
Well, do you think they're living real comfortably knowing that their identities are out there and that somebody could be trying to fuck them over at every last pass?
Well, let's go to this trustee. Like, when they say a trustee, or...
You can form a trust or a corporation to have a lawyer accept on your behalf, and it'll go to the name of the trust or the corporation. Mm-hmm. But I still think it's not that hard for people to go out there and find out the names involved.
It'd be harder, but yeah, it wouldn't be impossible.
But look at
what would be the best way to collect your winnings then if you win the lottery? If you're trying to complete anonymity, no identity whatsoever is put out there, how do you collect that?
Well, that's the thing, is you sign the ticket and there's your identity, but then they give your identity out. So it would be up to the Lottery Commission to keep private the information of their winners and only give out, statistical information. I mean, look at all the loopholes that this woman had to jump through to get her money. She was ready to just say, fuck it, I don't want the money. Because I don't want to be a victim. I don't want to be famous. I don't want people to come after me. She was, both annoyed and petrified. Imagine all that rush of excitement, and then immediately there's 10 times as much negativity in your mind.
Yeah, it almost my biggest problem if I ever did win the lottery, it would be exactly that. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be well known. I'm not a movie star. If I won the lottery, I just really quietly want to buy a place on a lake and live there. That's it.
Right. But one time I was outside a Green Mill Pizza in Coon Rapids, and somebody said that Al Franken was eating there. And I walked up to the window and looked over the curtain, and sure as shit, there he was. And then I immediately called 93X and say, hey, anybody that wants to give a piece of their mind to Senator Al Franken, show up to the Green Mill in Coon Rapids right now. He's sitting in one of the front window booths with his constituents eating some spaghetti.
Half-cooked pizza.
I got on the air.
You did?
They put that shit out.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. So, I mean, think about if you see somebody famous. Are you going to go up to them and be like, oh my God, I'm such a fan? Or, it's really awesome to meet you. I liked your movie. I liked your album. I liked your this, your that. People shower famous people with incredulous amounts of praise, or sometimes they might shit all over them. But the point is attention, attention, attention.
Some of them don't want it all the time, though.
Some of them don't want it at all.
Like when you look at Mel Gibson and other actors, they grow these huge beards, or they always wear really dark sunglasses so you can't. Oversized sunglasses. They're trying to hide. It's like, okay, they're rich, they're famous, they do stuff that people really admire or whatever, but they want to be just like everybody else and go to the store without being bombarded by a bunch of people.
Well, that's the cult of personality that we've called in this nation, where we have this obsession with fame.
I don't.
And famous people. That's why things like TMZ exist. That's why the Kardashians have a show. That's why people want to know who wins the lottery. And the Lottery Commission can't wait to show you all these regular Joes with their great stories. And, 50 lunch ladies all banded together and took their money.
And the one tried screwing them because she said, no, that's doing I bought with my money.
Right. There are a whole group of people that worked at the Jenny-O factory, 20 of them that buy a bunch of tickets every week, and they finally won. So they're almost going to come out ahead a little bit because they pissed away so much of their blue-collar earnings on trying to win this in the first place. But here's their picture of all these smiling people that say, it's not going to change me. I'm going to keep working my job. And then like a year later, 3 of them are dead.
I'm going to bankrupt myself in 5 years.
Let's say, hypothetically speaking, you win the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
And you can keep your identity secret.
Okay.
Wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't want to be well known. I mean, I have a YouTube channel, but I'm not trying to be the 1 million subscriber channel. I'm just having fun with it.
But here's something you got to think about. As a family man, can the wife keep her pie hole shut?
I'm sure we would tell people that we know close, obviously family, maybe some coworkers and stuff. But...
Shaking my head, no, you shouldn't tell anyone.
Fuck, well, I think my parents would know if I won because I all of a sudden would be living on a lake. That's my dream. If I win the lottery, I'm buying a house on a lake. Doesn't even got to be a big house.
Dead giveaway.
Exactly, but that's what I want. That's why I would win the lottery so I could do that.
You have to temper those urges to splurge right away and buy all the things you think you need or that you want.
All I need is a house and to pay off a couple of bills. That's it.
Right. Okay, but then you got 4 kids. Can they keep their pie hole shut? Do you even tell them?
No.
Right. But they're going to figure it out. And then Leadhead's going to be like, oh, excuse me.
That brings up an interesting question. How would I keep it from the kids? It's not like I'd be like, oh, we got all the money in the world now. Just like, win the lottery, maybe a year down the road. Because I'd keep working. I've already told myself I'd keep working. I like working. Just a year down the road, like, oh, you know what? We found that we're working real hard and we have just enough money to buy this house. I mean, right. I could fool the kids to a point where maybe 5-6 years down the road they might actually start wising up to it. Because I don't think Mrs. Number One fan would work anymore. I don't know. You
got to keep working. That's the plan. But more importantly, the point I'm getting at is you got 4 potential kidnapping victims.
If I can keep my identity safe and everything like that, and I don't drive around in the biggest, most expensive Escalade on the planet, I think I could keep it pretty well under wraps. Because the stuff I do have now, I'm happy with it. Okay, I'd buy a better boat. But that's it.
Buy a better boat.
A house on a lake and a better boat.
Okay.
Seriously, that's all I can imagine. And a few more guns.
Oh, Jesus Christ. See how it starts as, I only need a house. Maybe a better boat. And some more guns. And
but that's stuff that you can buy without letting out that you won the lottery.
I don't know, man.
You can. What do you think? Okay, what do you think I would buy if I were to buy a better boat? Do you think I'd go out and buy I'd go out and buy a yacht?
Well, I don't think that you're going to go and put a giant yacht on a crappy lake because you'd have to have like a 350 diesel truck to tow that bitch.
I'm looking for a 20-foot boat that fits 10 people on it.
That's a lot of people.
$40,000.
$400
a month for 15 years.
If you can keep your identity a secret, there goes half the worry of people that know you have this money. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're still going to be in the back of your mind scared, I think, that people are going to find out. And they're going to go apeshit, like spreading the rumors or spreading the news. But if you live a very conservative lifestyle, even after you win, you would have to keep working as a cover. Or you could just lie and say, I do this for a living. You could just start your own company and then pretend that you fucking do work. You could even buy a crappy little office space somewhere and drive there every day and just fuck around on the internet.
just play video games and shit all
day.
Just
to have a business address to put on that false air of normalcy. But I would still, because I want to impart into my children an appreciation for the value of things, I wouldn't fucking tell them. But, it's different with your situation with your ex, because she walked away like, whatever, fuck it. She wanted freedom. She didn't even care about being a mom.
Yeah.
Whereas
the beast,
if she found that shit out, oh my God, my life's going to be hell. She'd take me back to court, and then I'd get stuck paying her legal fees because it would drag out forever because I'm like, I'm not going to fucking pay you. This is my money. And then it's not even my money because I'm married. It's our money. And it's like, well, fuck.
We were never married, so fuck off.
Yes.
Well, she's a greedy bitch who doesn't earn what she needs.
Right, and that's exactly what happens when the Lottery Commission puts your name and face out there in the papers and on the news. Greedy bitches come looking for their share. Yeah, it's kind of like when Philando Castile's mother got that fucking payout after the lawsuit was settled from the city.
Mm-hmm.
his mother put out a notice to his relatives. If you think you deserve any of this money, I want you to write me a 10-page paper on how they were owed the money, and he would have given it to them, what they're going to do with it, why they think they're deserving. Guess what? Nobody wrote the paper.
I couldn't figure out how to write 10 pages of anything.
She effectively threw down a gauntlet, which was a giant fuck you to all these, vultures that were circling, that were tertiary members of the extended family.
Yeah. And she did it in a really genius way. Oh, you want this? You need to write me something.
You need to prove it, yeah.
You need to sound intelligent and reasonable. So,
in review, I love this decision. I hope more states would actually go to this system. Because not every state makes you give your identity if you win the lottery.
Does this state?
Yes.
No.
Which is why I wrote the government about it. I emailed. And they're just saying, well, we feel time and time again, public trust is rooted in knowing that real people are winning the lottery. And to do that, we need to put their identities out there.
I can understand the viewpoint of how they would think that people would be, no one's actually winning it. You're just saving it for yourselves and claiming there's a winner. But, again, they wouldn't have to hide the identity. There wouldn't be a battle for that if people just leave people alone instead of thinking, oh, I knew him in high school and he was a bully to me. He owes me $50,000 for pain and suffering.
Right. Well, that's all the matter of dealing with our idiotic litigation crazy society where you can sue anybody for anything, and any lawyer's like, here, I'll take an easy paycheck. I'll fucking defend your stupid honor. Fuck you.
And that's why I think the whole justice system in that regards for suing and all that, civil suits, needs to be completely overhauled because some of this shit is ridiculous.
Jmann in 2020, tort reform.
Well, you got another vote.
Interact with the show on Twitter at What Do We Call It. That is at What Do We Call It. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/What Do We Call It podcast show for the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann.
I'm number one fan, Tim.
And that's the end.